Welcome to Monmouth in Focus, a show on county government and the functions of county government. I've always said that county government success hinges on the backs of our municipalities, and their success leads to our success. And today I'm fortunate enough to have one of our larger municipalities, Manalapan Township, in, and the mayor, Jack McAbee. Jack, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
So I know your form of government is a committee form of government, so you have a rotating mayor form there, but I know you've served there a few times now.
I have. So I was appointed in 2013, ran in 13, ran in 14, but I've served as mayor now in 15, 18, and
Great.
again
You
in
have
20.
an extremely well-run town, and I will tell you that I know from being a former mayor that you always try to set goals. And so what are some of the big goals for 2020 for yourself?
Well, we've settled with fair share in our affordable numbers of affordable housing units that have to be built between 2025. We're setting all the background for that, the ordinances in place that allow it to go before our planning boards for approvals and the likes of that. There's always goals that we try to do. Our unions are all up contracts are all up. So we hope to settle the smaller unions. Obviously, our SOA would be smaller than our PBAs, things like that. So what we try to do is, if we can't get them all, we're going to certainly get a bunch of them. And if it doesn't go on, it didn't the last time. They don't always solve the retroactive contracts. There's a lot of mechanics to it, a lot of meetings. You know, the old days of 8% raises and those type of things are long gone. Years ago, there was a 2% cap in place. That's still in place, but there was also an arbitration cap, which this governor has decided not to renew. So it makes for more of an open forum on the negotiations, and it makes it creative from both sides.
It's funny because when you lead government here in both the local and the county, and even in the state, all those components that are behind the scenes people don't see, but ultimately they affect everybody in the outcome. So I know that we've had a lot of partnerships, the county and Manalapan. What are some of the partnerships that you feel that we work very well together on?
Just before my coming on, we went to county dispatch, which is for police, fire, first aid. And of course, there were growing pains.
Absolutely.
And the home rule kicks in, and there's a lot of kickback, and we got to get out of this. We should have never got in it. But I think now, fast forward 7 years, 8 years into it, it's a good program. It's working. Electronics, there's so much involved in that, the technology, that for us to do it in Manalapan is just cost prohibitive. It needs to go to a county level in order to be dispatched.
Sure, and I always went, and obviously I was very supportive of that, and I always told everybody, anytime you change something, you're going to have the growing pains. So, we never discounted that it was just going to be flawless and just continue to be like, continue the same process. But as you said, most towns, they've really now, it's kind of effortless right now, and it's working very well. So as a mayor, and you always look back, and hopefully you'll be there a very long time, because we need you there a very long time. But what are some of your proudest accomplishments that you see and more feel-good stories that you feel that you've helped Manalapan and some residents out about?
Well, one thing I always try to say is it's never about me. It's not about Jack. It's a team effort. So I have the benefit of serving with Susan Cohen, Marianne Music. The three of us have been together, 6 years serving and have known each other much longer. Barry Jacobson and Eric Nelson round that out. Newer guys, both of them in their first terms. And they bring something to the table. All five of us come from different places. We've had a player this year play in the playoffs of the NFL. We have players that are actually playing in the NFL. So I'm proud of that. Major League Baseball is represented. I'm a sports fan. I'm at the Friday night football games watching our guys play. I'm extremely proud anytime the high school calls and needs involvement. So to give you an example, the wrestling team just won state in the fifth. We'll have them into our meetings, because that is Manalapan. This is home to many people. They are the next generation. You say, I hope to be there for a long time. I'm running for re-election in 20. Hopefully I'm successful. I will do my best to get there. The voters certainly have the final word on that. If they think I've done a good job, I'll be back. If they don't, I won't be. And I'm fine with that. I earn that job every day. I am in awe of the fact that I've been trusted with it, and I try to never let anybody down. I'm not a me person. As I said, everything is a team.
It is a team.
And I'm proud of our team.
The good, that's all the positive stuff on government and control. But as you know, there's obstacles that we have to deal with. And what do you see as some of the biggest challenges for yourself and Manalapan this upcoming year. And we have a lot of them. You know, there's three components to a successful government, obviously the municipal, the county, and the state. And I'm trying my best to make sure that we work all together, but we do run into some obstacles there. So what are some of your challenges or obstacles you see coming up?
Well, you know, most of these boil down to money. So I don't know that we have a great relationship with our state all the time. And through different parties, so I'm not trying to be a party guy here. Yep. I'm trying to say that money is a factor. Our Route 33 is being forced to be developed under our affordable housing agreement. I'll be meeting with the DOT on Monday and say, do you have a vision going forward? As there's 4 towns between Exit 8 on the Turnpike and us being the 4th town, what is your overall vision? Because we don't know what the 3 towns in front of us going to Exit 8 are doing. I'm sure they have a vision. You know, is it a 5-year plan to widen that road? Is it a 10-year plan? Where are we? Route 9 is one of the #1 commuting corridors in the nation.
That's a big challenge. That's a big challenge.
And it's not perfect. You can't just keep parking cars like that. There's got to be a better way. Is New Jersey Transit on it? Is New Jersey Transit the future of this, or should there be something different? And we have a transportation council, which is great in town. They work with those problems. I understand if you go in the southern part of Manhattan, you don't use New Jersey Transit, you use Academy, and that's not as good of a system, not as many buses, things like that. So we're trying to work all of those challenges.
That's great, and I know they're difficult, and I know we're going to be closing up here soon, but I know there's one thing that you and I want to touch on personally, and a little initiative that we're going to start, and if we could wrap it up with that, because I think that's a real good feel-good story, and I think it's a real good benefit, and that's and I'll let you kick it off.
Okay, so a couple years ago, you came into a veterans meeting. We talked about a closet. So in other words, people that usually are on some sort of assistance, need food, need that, probably when they go to a job interview aren't dressed the way you and I are dressed today.
They need it.
And a lot of times, at least in the case of men's clothing, I don't know women's as much, but I know the men's side, hopefully the women will be able to bring on board and we'll be able to do the same thing. But you know, a lot of times we're throwing away suits that just don't fit us anymore or whatever. And with that, we could open this closet. So Jim Gray, a former mayor, and then of course a county employee, his wife approached me with this, and that's what made me call you, and you said, let's do it.
Let's do it. And I think you and I are going to be kicking off some initial meetings there, and this is another way we're going to try to get all the other 52 municipalities to buy in and the mayors to buy in. So it's another great initiative, another great position of county and municipalities working together. And that was one of when I was mayor, I kind of missed. We actually didn't have that, and it was really a focal point of myself when I came on this board that I was going to work with each municipality. And this is just another way of having these interviews and getting the word out to show that our partners. So I want to thank you. It was great having you on board here today, and looking forward to working together through the rest of the year and getting a lot of initiatives done. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate everything you and the county do.